Aussies are building granny flats to move into. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article discussing a trend where Australians are building granny flats to move into. Now, we actually considered this. Rachel and I considered building a granny flat onto my parents' house years ago as a way to get into the property market. We never ended up doing it. But it's definitely something to consider. Now, the advantages of it is that you've got, well, family close to you. I mean, that could be a disadvantage or an advantage, but a lot of people can make it work. Multi-generational living is normal in the past. And, well, you've also got two properties now for the price of one. And councils are starting to change the rules so you can rent them out separately. I know people are doing it anyway. Technically, it's illegal in some councils. It has to be all family members, which they need to change. So let's jump over and have a look at this article, guys. So, Vera is building a granny flat after being priced out of the property market. More Aussies are building granny flats as property prices and costs of living rise. Now, I think this is a much smarter idea than building or getting a tiny house. Because a tiny house, you're essentially buying a glorified caravan and the council can move you on. You build it, build a proper building, you get the approvals, you got it there. And it'll add value to the property. Sydney newlyweds, Vera and Anthony Ippolito, are preparing to move into a granny flat at the back of Anthony's parents' property. The couple started building the two-bedroom granny flat in Ashbury in November last year after realizing they wouldn't be able to afford to buy a property in the inner west. My husband and I were born and raised in the inner west area. Our family and friends are important to us, so we hope to stay in that area, but the cost of living and prices of property at the moment are crazy, she told Yahoo Finances. The couple own an investment property in Blacktown, which they purchased in 2017 to get a foot in the door in the market. We couldn't afford to buy something in the inner west, so it was either moving to Blacktown or selling that property. But we still wouldn't be able to afford anything in the area, she said. It started out as a joke to build a granny flat, but then we did our homework and research, and it seemed like something that was affordable to us. Why not? And then maybe if the young couple have the kids, they swap houses. You know, the parents are getting older, they move into the granny flat, the young couple raise the family in the house at the front. You've got grandma and grandpa around all the time. They can help with the kids. They can be a part of the family. There's a lot of advantages to this if you've got a normal family dynamic. You know, if you're batshit crazy, then this could be problems. So they just spent over $200,000 building the granny flat and have chosen to make upgrades to the standard fit out since they intend to live in it for the foreseeable future, which makes a lot of sense. You throw a bit more money at it. I mean that looks nice there. Look at how high it is. Although, yeah, you couldn't really get, they got the skylight there. Try and get another one in there, but it looks nice. We're still working towards and trying to save for a bigger house. The granny flat has definitely helped, she said. So it's breathing room. Vera and Anthony aren't the only Aussies turning to granny flats as the cost of living soars. Buyers agents and former heavy metal drummer Rodney Halder has built 2 granny flats on his properties in Brisbane and Canberra, but instead of living in them, he's renting them out to help cover his rising mortgage repayments. Now, here's the thing. Up until recently, he couldn't do that in Brisbane. It had to be all to the same family. Okay? And sure, no normal person is going to dob you in for that. But there'll be, we saw during the lockdowns, people like reporting each other for petty shit, don't they? And now they've changed the rules. They need to make it permanent so you can rent out a granny flat to a separate non-relative person. Separate families. Makes a lot of sense. He originally built a granny flat in his Manly West property in 2008 to give his friend a place to live. Back then, he bought the one-bedroom granny flat from Bunnings for $35,000 and paid $50,000 for a builder. My buddy was living with me in the backyard after we built it and absolutely helping with paying the mortgage on the first property there, he told Yahoo Finance. We had a couple of babies and my wife wasn't working, so it was a massive financial help to have some income coming in and also providing a place to live for my best mate. This year, he also finished building a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom granny flat as his property in Canberra that cost him $170,000. There you go. And it's a permanent structure. It's a real building, guys. It's not a portable, not a transportable. So you're adding value to the property. That's what you're doing. That's the advantage of it. Rodney, who himself rents a property in Brisbane, is now renting out the 2 properties plus the granny flats. The granny flats have given a bit of extra breathing room, having that extra rent coming in to be able to meet the mortgage repayments, the rates, land tax in Canberra, insurance and building repairs. It's also contributing to easing the housing crisis, he said. So it's a growing trend. Granny flats are a growing trend among Aussies, with new data from OneFlare finding a 67% increase in granny flat jobs posted on the platform over the past year. OneFlare CEO, okay, why? Are they paying for it? Maybe. Struggling with the rising cost of living, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we'll skip over that. Granny flat jobs in the past 6 months. What? You just go to a builder. Well, there we go, guys. So let's chat about this one, eh? Let's have a bit of a talk about this one. I think it's a great idea. If you've got the land, it's definitely something to consider. If you can live together with your parents and your grandparents, and there's usually enough level of separation having a granny flat and a separate house. Even if they're connected together in some level, there's a level of privacy there. You've got your own space there. You're not messing each other up. And if you're having kids, the kids get to see the grandparents. That's a fantastic benefit. That's not something that everyone gets to see. And these are better than tiny homes because they have to be built to the proper codes and you're adding value to your property. And the only thing is, then it comes down to the ownership. So you just change the title. Adjust it, have part ownership of the property among all parties. Why not? You can talk to a lawyer and make it happen. So I think this is encouraging. This is smart. Good thing to consider. Not for everyone, but hey, make it work if you can. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Check out HeiseBim or Heise Does. And if you're a fan, enjoy the content, you can support the channel on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call me if you need an architect. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you all in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.